Welcome to Bookish Mind, Season 06, Episode 08. Today, as we delve into Renuka Gavrani's profound book, The Art of Being Alone, we ask, are you chasing a dream life that's truly yours, or one society sold you? That's our mission for this deep dive, to unpack some truly challenging insights from Chapter 8 of The Art of Being Alone, titled Building a Dream Life. We're going to explore Gavrani's powerful and maybe sometimes blunt perspective on how we often define success and, whether it truly aligns with our deep personal fulfillment or just what we think we should want from looking around us.
Yeah, this deep dive isn't just about reviewing a chapter. It's really about a fundamental reevaluation. Thinking about how we approach our aspirations and what we genuinely believe brings happiness, Gavrani makes this incredibly bold claim. She suggests many of us are living a collection of cheap dreams that everyone imagines. I mean, that phrase itself is quite something, isn't it? So our goal here is to unravel why she believes this, what it means for us, and importantly, what we can actually do about it if we feel caught up in that. It's really a call to re-examine everything we thought we knew about success.
Okay, so let's really get into this. It feels it feels almost universal, right? Everybody wants to be successful, to live that dream life, achieve something big, maybe leave a dent in the universe, as they say. It just seems baked into our culture. But Gavrani just cuts right through that with this really sharp question. It's almost uncomfortable. Right at the start of the chapter, she asks, if you don't know where you want to go, how will you ever reach there? So simple. But wow, it hits hard. And here's where her observation gets really revealing. She points out that if you actually ask people, maybe even ask yourself what success or a dream life looks like, well, the answers are surprisingly similar, almost uncannily so. Think about it. If I asked you now, you'd probably describe something like make a lot of money, live in a nice, luxurious house, give my parents and loved ones a comfortable life, travel across the world and be happy. We kind of all recognize that script, don't we?
Exactly. And what's really insightful is how Gavrani dissects this apparent consensus. She challenges the whole idea of this shared dream, like how can all our individual unique dream lives look exactly the same? Her critique, as you said, it is blunt. She says we are clowns. And it's not just an insult, it's more like a diagnosis, you know? She's saying we perform these roles based on external validation instead of really living. She argues we are manipulated into believing that success means a big house, lots of money, and aesthetic pictures from vacations. Now, she does clarify she's not against money itself. She even says, darling, I love money. But the point isn't having money, it's the reason for wanting it. Is it genuine need, or is it just fitting into this prepackaged idea?
That's such a key distinction, isn't it? She really hammers home this idea of clownish behavior, that we're basically following everything that people in power want to make us do, Pedley. We get caught up in FOMO, fear of missing out, thinking if we don't have what everyone has, we're somehow failing. And the examples she gives are so vivid, almost comically specific. The bullshit, as she calls it, like one Chanel bag, one trip to Italy, one beautiful partner who proposes to you in front of the Eiffel Tower, a cute baby who is more intelligent than anyone else's, and more bullshit like this. You can almost hear the eye roll, can't you? It paints this powerful, maybe slightly unsettling picture of how much external pressure shapes what we want.
Yeah, and if we look at the bigger picture here, the problem isn't wanting nice things or travel or whatever. The real issue, Gavrani says, is wanting these things so that we don't seem poor, stupid, or weird. And she suggests this isn't just an accident. She calls it a well-designed system that has robbed us of our basic capability to think. So instead of doing the hard work, the introspection, asking what we truly want, we just try to copy the most successful person around us so that we can also become successful. This copying, this mimicry, becomes a habit. And it actively stops us from finding our own path, leaving us feeling uneasy, even when we seem to have everything.
So if our dreams are just this vague template, this universal thing, how do we even start to achieve them? Gavrani then turns that sharp focus onto our efforts, or, well, often our lack of effort, right? If you say you want a lot of money, she challenges you. Okay, how much? How much is enough? What's the actual number that would let you be at peace, call yourself successful? And do you have a real plan? Any plan to get even 1% closer to that goal? Like if the dream is $10K a month, have you figured out how to make the first $100 or even the first dollar? Or are you just kind of hoping for, I don't know, magic, a lottery ticket? She implies it doesn't work like that. There's no shortcut that skipped the actual work.
And it's not just money, right? She pushes on non-material goals too. If your goal is peace and mental stillness, okay, what are you doing about it? Is there a consistent practice? Do you meditate regularly, maybe with focus? Or is it more like meditating once in a while just to curse your brain for throwing thousands of thoughts at you? Which, let's be honest, can happen. Do you journal every day? Or do you just overthink about how your life is a mess without taking those active steps? What's really striking is she's demanding accountability. Like, Real, consistent, actionable effort. Not just wishing or trying now and then. It's about that gap between what we say we want and what we actually day-to-day do.
Right. And she's very clear. Her point isn't to make anyone feel bad or guilty. She says, I'm just introducing you to your reality. She argues pretty plainly that you're living in a bubble if you think that just by imagining and wishing to become successful, you will become one.
Mm-hmm.
That too, when you don't know what success means to you. Like a wake-up call, isn't it? Trying to shake us out of just dreaming and force us to face the gap between vague desires and, well, reality. Lack of action, lack of definition. It's tough medicine, maybe, but it seems purposeful.
And that really brings us to this crucial question. How can any of us truly define, let alone pursue, a life that feels authentically ours? That really speaks to who we are deep down. If our goals are just echoes of society, filtered through Instagram and what everyone else seems to be doing, how can we possibly find genuine, lasting fulfillment? That feels like the central problem she wants us to wrestle with.
Okay, so if our dreams are borrowed and our efforts are maybe lacking definition, what's Gavrani's answer? Her solution. This is where the book takes a really interesting, maybe unexpected turn. After all that critique, she states it very clearly. This right here is the reason why you need to be alone. It feels a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it? Especially if you enjoy being social, if you have a great circle of friends. The idea of deliberately seeking solitude might seem unnecessary, maybe even a bit lonely, but she argues it's absolutely vital.
Yeah, it's fascinating how she explains why solitude is so important. She says, when you are alone, you are dealing with just one mind, one opinion, and one perspective. And that's critical because, think about it, in the constant noise of everyone else's opinions, social media, expectations, it's really hard to hear your own voice. Gavrani basically says that if you've never really embraced being alone, if you're always surrounded by others or, noise, then you don't know what you think about anything. You just follow and accept whatever the world throws at you. So that space, being alone, is where independent thought, your real opinions, your self-awareness, that's where it actually forms. It's where you can finally hear yourself think.
She even shares her own story about this, which makes it feel very real. She talks about how she started deliberately spending more time alone, trying to discover what your soul truly desires. Okay. And she uses that word, soul, emphasizing that it speaks with no manipulation. She remembers a time when she just couldn't make decisions, even simple ones. Being so underconfident about my opinions, she'd agonize over tiny choices. She realized how dependent I was, always looking for someone else to tell her what to do, what was good for her. It's a really honest admission and probably quite relatable for a lot of us who've maybe relied too much on external validation.
Absolutely. And that personal story ties directly back to the whole crowd following thing we talked about. The core reason we follow the crowd, she argues, is simple. We don't trust our decisions and choices. It just feels safer to trust the crowd. Less risk of failing on your own or being judged, right? And that's why we shy away from a new path, because it seems less crowded or rather alone. It's this deep fear of standing out, of being different. So maybe a question for you listening. Have you ever felt that kind of low-grade exhaustion from always wishing you were more like someone else? Or maybe from chasing some version of success or beauty without actually enjoying the process day to day? Is that a feeling you recognize that you're tired of?
And she really brings the section home with what might be the most chilling question in the chapter. It really makes you stop and think. She asks, aren't you afraid that you will waste your entire life doing what everyone did just to realize that you never lived or did anything that you wanted? Oh, yeah, that question, once it lands, it kind of sticks with you. Definitely prompts some deep thinking. So after all these insights, these really challenging questions from Gavrani, if you just take one thing away from this book, she says, remember this, quote, learn to define your definition of everything. Don't make your life a wish list of what you think everyone has. It's such a powerful call to take back control, to reject those prepackaged dreams.
Yeah, and the irony she points out is so sharp. She says pretty bluntly, when you don't know what you want, then you want to have everything that is glittery and shiny. It's like we've switched off our brains and blindly follow whatever society dangles in front of us. And then, surprise, surprise, we find ourselves wondering, why am I not happy even when I have everything I dreamt of? Yeah. She even takes a little jab at the common advice, making gratitude lists, just like everyone suggests, implying that even that can become just another thing to check off a list if your underlying desires aren't truly yours. Her core message is just so clear. It's time to switch on the button of your brain so that your inner light can guide you. It's about turning that inner compass back on.
And here's the really crucial bit for anyone listening right now. If you're looking for quick fixes like hacks or techniques from this book for instant happiness or guaranteed success, Gavrani is explicit. She cannot tell you what to do because she doesn't know you. She can't possibly know your unique story, what makes your heart sing, what genuinely brings you joy. And she gives this strong warning. Even if she gave you a list of hacks, you'd probably forget them anyway. Why? Because it didn't come from you, so it didn't fit in your life. It's a powerful pushback against generic, one-size-fits-all advice.
Exactly. It really drives home her point that the only real way forward is personal. You need to sit down and start defining things for yourself. If you want happiness, she urges you, look inward. Ask, what does happiness mean to me? Not to YouTube, not to some guru, but to you. It's about digging deep, figuring out what genuinely makes you happy. Maybe through reflection, paying attention to your days, journaling honestly, and then finding ways to actively add that little dose of happiness to your day-to-day life. As she says, find it in your heart. It's self-discovery, not just following external instructions.
And you apply that same deep personal process to success. Ask yourself honestly, what does success mean to me? What is your unique definition? How do you actually imagine living your successful life? Is it just about the job? Or does it cover everything, relationships, growth, creativity? She advises, let your definition of success be your compass. It has to come from inside you, guiding your choices authentically, not some external map you're trying to force yourself to follow.
And this whole journey of defining things for yourself leads to her final, very potent warning. You cannot build your life by walking in someone else's footprints. Your life, Gavrani really stresses this, is your treasure. It belongs in your hands. It's such a strong reminder that real ownership, real fulfillment, that deep sense of peace, it only comes from creating your own path, not from trying to perfectly copy someone else's, no matter how shiny and appealing it looks from the outside.
So what's the takeaway? What does this all boil down to for us right now? It seems it's all about taking genuine charge of your own life, your own existence. Gavrani urges us, enough of living like a slave who blindly follows everything. It really is a rallying cry, isn't it? To break free from just going along without thinking.
It absolutely is. It reinforces this incredibly powerful call to action. Act like you own it. Take your own decisions. Build your definition of everything. Think before you accept anything from society. Use the brain that God has blessed you with. Look within and find your true guidance. It's all about empowering yourself to actually live, to build a life that's so uniquely yours, it couldn't possibly belong to anyone else.
And she wraps it up with this incredibly powerful, motivating statement. It feels like a real mic drop moment. It's time you become the owner of your life. It's time you give a personalized touch to your life.
Yeah.
And it starts now. That now at the end, it really lands, doesn't it? It feels urgent. So the art of being alone really challenges us, doesn't it? To reclaim our own definitions of happiness, of success, to fundamentally move away from that prescribed one-size-fits-all societal dream. This deep dive, I think, has shown us the profound importance, sometimes uncomfortable maybe, but ultimately liberating of solitude, using it to discover what we truly desire and chart our own course.
Right. So given everything we've talked about today, about the power of defining your own path, maybe here's something to think about. What is one glittery and shiny thing that society tells you that you should want? That maybe, just maybe, you might now choose to redefine for yourself. Or perhaps even release altogether. And thinking about Gavrani's advice, what simple act of solitude, even just for a few minutes, can you embrace today to help you start that process of genuine self-discovery?
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.